The primary job at Christ School is to develop a young man and his future. Coming to a school like this, they get to be the captain of their own ship. They get to make choices that have benefits. Learning to do business with adults and being their own self-advocate, I don't know if there's anything more important than that.
Yeah, relationships are at the core of what we do. We don't want people to just be passengers throughout this entire experience. We want them to be drivers.
When my son came as a ninth grader, it was kind of normal. You met your teacher on the first day of class. But after you've been here a year, it's so wonderful because by the time you go into, let's say, 10th grade and you go to see your teachers for the first time, you've already probably either had them as a coach or had meals with them in the dining hall.
I think that the relationship with teachers, especially from my experience, is just really close. So it's small classes, really intimate with the teacher. Even during extra help or after school, you can schedule meetings or even just show up.
I came to Christ School this year, so it's just been really supportive. Everybody's been really nice, and I've already met a lot of people. I can go someplace and all of the teachers know my name, which is just a great experience that you can't get in a lot of places.
Each boy comes here with a narrative, with experiences, with quirks, with a sense of humor. We like that. What we want to do is to develop that. So at graduation, I've got an 18-year-old boy crossing the stage that's fully engaged and fully functional and ready for the next step in his life.
The way the teachers teach, totally boy-centered, because they know through research that boys like a louder voice. They like a teacher that's moving around the room. The boys want to interact with the teacher.
I've gotten into things, digital photography, like that I wouldn't usually do at home or at another school.
The course load is difficult in a way, but you have people who can support you and help you through it.
The Christ School campus is located in a very unique area. We're 8 miles from downtown Asheville and all the amenities that they offer. But more importantly, we have these 500 pristine acres where a boy can be a boy. If he wants to run through the woods, if he wants to fish, if he wants to ride his mountain bike through the 5 miles of cut trails, this is just an awesome venue.
For boys, it's a dream world here in the mountains with so many outdoor adventure sports all around that they can get to quickly, but at the same time to have what downtown Asheville offers with all of the arts and the different activities. It's just a perfect location for this school.
There's a bond here, there's a brotherhood where they watch each other's backs, they support each other, whether it's on the stage in drama, whether it's on the football field, whether it's on a community service trip. There is a special camaraderie here that you can only really experience if you come and see it and meet our young men. It is one of the most impressive things and the thing that I'm probably most proud of here at Christ School.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Greenie Lacrosse on the Christ School Broadcast Network. I'm Associate AD Bobby Long alongside Senior Will Smoots, bringing you this matchup between the Greenies of Christ School and Cannon School. It's playoff time for the 14-3 Greenies, and we've had a long rain delay, but we are back for this matchup. Greenies coming to the game 14-3, Cannon School 8-9. Greenies played Cannon School earlier this week, winning 18-3 on the road over a talented but unfortunately injury-laden Cougar team. Greenies played Cannon School twice last season, and both games were incredibly close. Will, you were at the game on Tuesday. What do you think the biggest difference between the teams in that game were earlier this week?
Well, like you said, Cannon's had some unfortunate injuries throughout these 3A games, but I think the biggest thing was the Greenies got off to a hot start. They were up 11-1, I believe, at the end of the first quarter. Offense looked great. Defense as well looked great. And the one thing I noticed was that the Greenies, they had the ball about 10 minutes out of the 12-minute possession time on the Cougars' half. So they did a great job offensively, keeping possession, limiting turnovers, and just playing their lacrosse.
Awesome, yeah. Offensive keys to the game for the Greenies to play their game, which is an up-tempo pace. Winning face-off, incredibly important for the Fogo man, Jack McLawhorn, and getting quite a few transition opportunities. Man up hasn't been as good as it has been in years past, but they'll need to take advantage of those situations if they come today. Defensively, the Greenies have been solid all year long in 3A play, but need to continue to play lockdown defense by communicating. And Will, one of the Achilles heels of the team in their 3 losses against Weddington, Salesianum, and Westminster have been penalties. Greenies need to limit those penalty chances and try and keep their defense out of man-down situations. So, Greenies, Cannon, NCISAA, 3A quarterfinals here after a hour rain delay, but we are ready and about to get set.
So right away we see Jack McLawhorn win the faceoff. He comes straight down, but turns it over, and somehow Max Bree comes up with the ground ball, and the Greenies will get the first possession here to start the playoffs.
Yeah, great job there by Max Bree to get the ball back for Christ School after an early turnover. Greenies now on offense. With the ball right now, you see number 11, Jack Harrison, Davis Lindsay, Coles Manning. That shot saved by the goalie. That's number 40, Chris Nelson, a senior captain for Cannon School. Great save there to keep to keep Christ School off the scoreboard.
Yeah, and that's a great save. Like last game on Tuesday when the Greenies played, that was one of the biggest things I saw. Is Greenies scored, I think, 6 or 7 goals from GLE coming around X and just
Davis Lindsay to Hunter Vines. That shot goes off the top crossbar. No good. But great ball movement there off the steal from Davis Lindsay. Defensively for Cannon School, we see Henry Kohler. We see number 28. That's Drew Ballsbow. Sorry if I'm getting that name wrong. Number 19, Ben Bragg, as well as the goalie you mentioned, Chris Nelson. We see number 1, Reed Fisk. And number 17, Connor Hines for Cannon School.
That's another part Cannon struggled with on the meeting during the meeting Tuesday between the two teams was clearing the ball. But this time they get through. And number 28, that's Drew Ballsbow. He takes a shot and he scores. So Cannon up early on the Greenies.
Yeah, great shot there by Drew, bringing the ball, I believe, long stick midi there, taking the ball on the defensive end, clearing it himself, getting a touch, and then putting one home on Christ School as they fall down early 1-0. So talking about that early start we saw in the last game, not to be here as a very well-coached team by Steve Shatner. And Coach Miles was talking this week that he has nothing but the utmost respect for Coach Shatner. He's been coaching at Cannon School since 2003. Great coach, always gets his team up for big games, and we see that here as a couple of key saves, getting it clear there, and Drew Ballsbow putting it home, and the Greenies trail 1-0 here early in the game as another face-off win there by Jack McLawhorn. That's Zach Grindy with the ball on the near side. We also see Phillip Hodges, Hunter Vines with the ball now coming in for the Greenies, all-time leading goal scorer for the Greenies career. Davis Lindsay behind the cage, leading assist man for Christ School. That's Coles Manning. That shot will be too high. Lindsay to restart possession. It's Lindsay to Manning again. He puts it just left, and it will be cannon ball. So great start if you're Cannon School, keeping the Greenies off the board here early and getting one home themselves. Great job by the Cougars. So Cannon School will take a timeout as they didn't quite get the touch there. Coach Shatner calling a timeout. Greenies trailing 1-0, 3 minutes into the game. And Will, fun fact, I was talking to Coach Miles about Cannon School, and actually both Cannon School and Christ School started their programs the same year, back in 2003. Christ School's first year, they were a club team. Cannon was a JV, but in 2004, they had their first varsity matchup ever, and Cannon won that game 7-6 in double overtime. So as far back as these teams have been in existence, they've been playing close games. And I would not be surprised to see another close game here in the quarterfinals with the Greenies trailing 1-0 early.
Another thing we're going to have to look out for is the conditions. It is wet, it's slippery, and they're going to have to take good shots. Both teams are going to have to take or be very selective in their shots, and that's going to be a big impact as we see Christ School likes to take a lot of outside shots, and they love just to pull the trigger and let it fly. And so it'll be interesting to see how they change their method here and see if they go inside, play a little two-man game, and find shots around the crease.
Yeah, you're right. Christ School's already taken about 3 outside shots, and then we had the one close one by Lindsay that was saved by Nelson. So shot count 4-1 in Greenie's favor, but they find themselves down 1-0 early to Cannon School. Now that's number 42. That's Thomas Leck, a senior attackman, was one of the players that Coach Miles told us to look out for. As that shot appears to be saved, nearly went between the legs of Bo Hekmovich, and with the sand in goal, I believe it may have just stuck there. So lucky for Christ School that they're able to come home with the save on that shot attempt by Thomas Leck. So you see Jack Harrison behind the cage with it to Grindy, Hunter Vines to Coles Manning, or to Phillip Hodges.
Christ School trying to figure out this zone that Cannon's come out with. They saw it last game, Tuesday, late in the game. So they didn't have all the starters in to play against it, but nonetheless, they're trying to figure it out and trying to see who's going to be the first one to sort of initiate the play and initiate that first dodge.
Yeah, Cannon School doing a great job here with the zone, really packing it in, communicating defensively, and it seems to have Christ School, especially after that first early goal attempt was saved, has them a little confused, but they're being patient, they're moving the ball, and that's what you're going to have to do against the zone. As that shot is saved, Jack Harrison. Shot saved by Chris Nelson, his second of the game. So great job so far from the goalie of Cannon School.
Yeah, not a bad goalie at all. Even though the Greenies put up 18 against Cannon in their previous meeting, I mean, Nelson, he's got great hands, and he's a solid goalie that Christ School, Nelson did have about 14 saves against Christ School. So nonetheless, he is a great goalie, and Greens are going to have to take really good shots.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach Miles talked about Nelson and the fact that he's one of the better goalies in the state. Had great hands, great save percentage, great footwork, and we're seeing it here early as Christ School yet to get on the board. As I think, I don't know if it's the rain delay. I don't know if it's coming in. Expecting this one to be easy after the win earlier in the week, but we've committed some turnovers. We've missed some shots, probably taken a couple too early. But Christ School, I wouldn't be surprised to see them get it together in the next couple minutes. But with this zone from Cannon School, Christ School is probably going to have to get a shot attempt or two in transition just to open things up a bit. Shot saved by Hekmovich, able to get his shoulder against the goalpost. Shot was just wide. Great defense there by senior Philip Hodges, number 10. On defense right now, we see Max Bree guarding the ball, Hunter Vines, Alex Byron, Spencer Dyer, and Will McNichols for the Greenies. That was Patrick Carlson with the shot attempt, no good. Good hustle there by Max Bree. Christ School will restart the possession. A lot of times when Christ School finds themselves in need of a goal, that man ends up being Hunter Vines for Christ School. So wouldn't be surprised to see him do something special for Christ School to get them on the board. But Cannon School knows that, and they will definitely have their – whoa! Not quite sure what happened there. It looks like Hunter Vines with the pass attempt ricocheted off the shoulder of one of his teammates, and that will be a goal.
Yeah, the goal will be credited to Hunter Vines. He tried to find Zach Grinney cutting. Difficult pass. Zach barely missed it, but deflected off his head. The head of the stick, and went in. So unfortunate for Cannon, but I guess it's a goal Christ School really needed to sort of level things out and get some confidence back.
Yeah, you're right. I mentioned a second ago that when Christ School needs a goal, sometimes Hunter Vines is capable of doing something special. Now, I don't know if a pass attempt off the helmet of another player was quite what I was talking about, but hey, at this point, whatever works as Christ School is able to tie it up. But we see a turnover there by McLawhorn, and Cannon will take over. On the offensive side of the ball, we see Ian Casey, number 11. We see number 25, Patrick Carlson, Thomas Leck, and Will Zandhus, just a sophomore for the Cougars. Davis Lindsay over the cage, shot scored by number 16, Zach Grindy. Christ School, 2 quick goals after trailing 1-0.
It's 4 minutes, 45 seconds left on the clock in the first quarter. Greenies up 2-1. So far, off to a really slow start. And to be honest, I don't know what to credit that to. Maybe the weather, maybe just the delay in being in the locker room for a while. But nonetheless, the Greenies only up 2-1 in the first quarter.
Yeah, you have to give credit to Cannon School. They had a tough game on Tuesday, down 18-3, down 11-1 after the first quarter. But to be down just 2-1, 4 minutes and 53 seconds into the game, their zone gave Christ School and continues to give Christ School trouble here in the first quarter. So a credit to them, a credit to Coach Shatner getting the team ready to play here. And like you mentioned at the at the beginning, this is it's playoff time. All the teams trying to get ready for what are, you win 3 games, you win a state championship. So, you got to pull out all the stops. As Hunter Vines shoots, that shot is saved. Chris Nelson has been absolutely fantastic for the Cougars thus far.
Yeah, that's a tough shot to save, even though stick high. Hunter Vines, he shoots the ball hard, so Nelson with another great save. And the Cougars now will attempt to clear it.
Yeah, big imposing player in the cage for Cannon School. As we see Hunter Vines, we have a 4-on-4 situation. It's Hunter Vines on the near side. They're going to call him in the crease, which will give the ball back to the Cougars.
And Davis Lindsay with a great check, but the Cougars able to recover it as they successfully clear it.
Great steal there by Max Bree, senior captain for Christ School. But it feels like a lot of the Greenies are trying to do some things that are a little uncharacteristic of what they've been doing all season. A lot of guys trying to take it up themselves instead of giving it up. That's Spencer Dyer, who's able to get the ball up. Christ School will get a touch from Marcus Berger. And the Greenies have Sean Dow, Philip Hodges, and Coles Manning coming into the game on offense with less than 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the first quarter. It's Coles Manning. Zach Grindy had some space for a moment. Great slide there by number 15, Henry Kohler. Sean Dow, his pass is tipped. Great job there by Zach Grindy to save possession for Christ School. Don't see Hunter Vines on the offensive end, which is a bit strange, but instead we see Sean Dow and Philip Hodges showing Cannon School another look here with Davis Lindsay behind the cage. Jack Harrison nearly lets it go. Davis Lindsay behind the back attempt will be saved by Chris Nelson. His 4th save of the game for the Cougars.
Yeah, and Christ School on that last possession not doing the best job penetrating the zone and just really initiating the dodge as Cannon turns it over. And that's McNichols now with the ball. He's coming full speed ahead. Finds Davis Lindsay somehow, and Davis Lindsay, another behind-the-back shot. Coach is not happy with that shot selection, as that's 2 in a row for Lindsay.
Hunter Vines at the top of the cage. That shot goes just above the crossbar by Grindy. Christ School's gotten quite a few shots off, about 8 or 9 so far this quarter. Just able to put 2 home, 10 shot attempts, just be able to put 2 home, and one was a pass attempt. So Greenies shooting just about, just over 10% here. Is that shot stinging corners? Hunter Vines puts it home, his 2nd of the game. Who was that assist by, Will?
Zach Grindy with the assist. So that puts the Greenies up 3-1 now with just 37 seconds in the first quarter.
Yeah, you see that replay there that we just watched. Hunter Vines shooting it around one of the Cannon School defenders. Don't know if the goalie saw it until it was too late, but great job there by Hunter Vines, his 2nd goal of the game. And Christ School takes a 3-1 lead with under 1 minute to play in the first quarter.
Yeah, and that's one of the biggest problems for goalies in situations like that, especially in a zone, is getting screened by a body. And that's one of the problems. What happens with the Greenies sometimes is when they go into their zone, Bo Hekimovich, the goalie, sometimes you can't see an outside shot, especially if it's a deep shot a lot of times defenders will pack in, and it's hard to tell exactly where the ball's going. As Hunter
Vines again, excuse me, to cut you off there, Will. I had a perfect angle on it. Great shot, Hunter Vines. What a goal, his third of the game. Vines does it again. Greenies up 4-1. 2 big goals here in the last minute for Christ School to give them a 4-1 lead. But compared to how Christ School was playing there in the first quarter on Tuesday, you know, Cannon School's got to be at least a little bit pleased with the way things are looking. They've been playing well, but unfortunately a couple turnovers have given Christ School the majority of the possession here in the first quarter. So Greenies lead 4-1, just 15 seconds left to see if they can tack on another one here in the waning moments of the first quarter. That's Jack Harrison behind the cage looking for an open teammate. He does find one, nearly a behind-the-back shot converted by Marcus Berger. But at the end of the first quarter, Christ School will lead Cannon School by a score of 4-1. Great play so far by goalie Chris Nelson of Cannon School. And on the offensive end for Cannon School, that goal was scored by Thomas Leck, the senior. So at the end of one, Christ School leads 4-1. We'll be back in a moment. Will, last year, Christ School was awarded the number 1 seed and had the opportunity to host all playoff games, and it culminated in a state championship. Talk about the importance for the Greenies of being able to host potentially every game from here on out if they continue to win.
I mean, it's huge, actually, especially with the range geographically that these teams are placed. Cannon, I know they probably spent about 2.5 hours today driving up just for this game, and then to be delayed even further. I mean, that takes a toll mentally on sort of your preparation. And that's what happened with the Greenies 2 years ago in the state championship, having to travel all the way to Raleigh to play Ravenscroft in that area. I mean, it's a rough ride just to take time out of the day and get up there, even the day of. So most of the times, it's tough.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, I was talking to some of the members of the coaching staff, and they said, you know, although the number 1 seed has won the at least the last 2 state championships, with Ravenscroft winning in 16 and Christ School in 17, at the end of the day, the best team wins the whole thing. So whether or not you're at home or on the road, if you're the better team, you play better on the day of the state championship, that's who deserves to win. So while we're happy to have Christ School here with the opportunity to host and to bring you these games live on YouTube, at the end of the day, the better team will end up winning the state championship, and we just hope that is Christ School next Saturday. So back at it here offensively. That's Davis Lindsay behind the cage. Some bad footing there for Hunter Vines. Great defensive play there by number 15, Henry Kohler. And a timeout is going to be called by Cannon School after a great defensive possession there.
Yeah, we already see the conditions starting to affect some of the players. Hunter slipping there, a missed ground ball by Zach Grindy. I mean, it's tough, but the Greenies have to stay focused, and Cannon as well. Both teams just got to stay focused and fight through the conditions.
Yeah, it was coming down here for about an hour. Quite a few lightning delays kept the teams off the field. And normally, Christ School goes through about an hour warm-up. And when the teams come in, they get at least a 30 to 45-minute warm-up. So both teams had just 15 minutes to warm up in an effort to get this game in before it gets dark. So, maybe here in the early going, we're seeing things are a little bit more sloppy than they would be normally. But, that's one of the things that you have to deal with, whether it's, golf, football, any of the outdoor sports. You've got to be able to adapt to the conditions, to the environment. And here in the early going, we've seen some footing issues, but hopefully as this game goes on, we see both teams settle down a bit and continue to play their game. So Cannon School struggled on Tuesday to clear the ball. We have a situation here where they will look to do just that with the ball. That's Drew Ballsbow with it on the far side of the field. Right now in front of me I can see number 12, Marcus Berger, Max Bree, Mikey Peralta, Jack Harrison, as well as number 16, Zach Grindy, looking to keep Cannon School on this side of the field. And they force a turnover there and will regain possession, looking to add their 5th goal of the game.
Christ School going to slow things down, get some subs on the field as Hodges, Manning, and Vines are going to be this midfield line.
That's Grindy to Davis Lindsay, unable to put it home. But Philip Hodges will run it down and restart possession for the Greenies.
And against a zone like this, Cannon's got to be careful. Christ School's running a wheel on that left side, just trying to find Lindsay or Grindy, whoever's cutting around X, just trying to find him on the end of that wheel. And Cannon's got to be careful with their rotation. Can't get drawn too high. Vines about had Manning on the crease. Cannon doing a good job in the zone as Lindsay comes around X. Save, and then Hodges picks it up and puts it home. So unfortunate for Nelson after a great save, but Hodges, great awareness.
Yeah, great job there by Philip Hodges to get back. We're going to see a replay here. Yes, he is able to get the rebound and put it home for Christ School. Big goal from Philip Hodges, but for those of you that were here last year in the state championship game against Country Day, he had his biggest goal of his career as he scored the first goal of the championship for Christ School. So Philip Hodges, unafraid to step up and take big shots for Christ School.
McClawhorn and number 11, I believe, Ian Casey in a little scuffle at the face-off.
See Sean Dow with it here. Now Philip Hodges will get it to Jack Harrison behind the cage.
And this is what Christ School needed. Some nice long offensive possessions. If you take a close look at Cannon's bench, they only have about 6 players with jerseys on, just 16 in total. As for Christ School, they've got a roster of about 26, 27 players. So definitely have the depth to go the way. But Cannon, it'll be interesting to see how they continue with these substitutions, especially as players get tired later in the game.
Hunter Vines over to Lindsay. That's Jack Harrison with the dodge. Shot scored by Jack Harrison. Pass there from Davis Lindsay. Greenies now up 6-1 after that. And we see a replay here as that pass from Lindsay. And a great dodge there by Jack Harrison, able to put it home. So after that early goal from Thomas Leck, Greenies have put up 6 unanswered here in the first round, quarterfinals of the NCISAA Division I playoffs. And in speaking to assistant coach Benji Kohlberg earlier this week, he said, it's playoff time and the team can feel it. They treated the Cannon game earlier in the week as a playoff game, and you can sense a different energy amongst the boys. So, 3 games, but they want to continue to take it one at a time. And the first one here is Cannon School. So after a rough start with a couple of turnovers, Christ School has settled down, continues to move the ball, and have found the back of the cage 6 times unanswered. Davis Lindsay to Coles Manning. That shot is good. Excuse me, I said Coles Manning. I believe that was that Sean Dow? Sean Dow with the goal. So great pass there as Sean Dow was able to find his way into the crease area. Found I don't know what I'm saying, Will. What I meant to say was Sean Dow with a great cut there, able to get it and put it home for Christ School. 7 unanswered, 7-1, Greenies lead. Not quite midway through the second quarter. So good job by Cannon School to win the ball there. A lot of that play was from number 25, Patrick Carlson, who will bring it up himself, get a touch. Transition opportunity for Cannon School to Thomas Leck. Finds number 17, Connor Hines, in the middle of the field. But that shot was saved by Bo Hekimovich. Great job there by Bo to keep the Cougars off the scoreboard. Now, unlike before when they were really packing that zone in, it looks like while they're not in man, they are, with Christ School spreading them out a bit more, they are definitely making things a little bit more difficult for the Cougars. That shot nearly bounces in for Grindy. See Marshall McDill from Asheville, North Carolina, checking into the game for the first time. And Coach Miles will call a timeout before we have a turnover here. Greenie's lead is 7-1. And we will be back after a brief timeout from Christ School. Just 6.5 minutes until the end of the first half. Greenies lead 7-1. If you're wondering why we're still in the second quarter, we had quite a long rain delay with lightning, rain, keeping the guys off the field. But we're underway now with McDill, Dow, Hodges, Harrison, Grindy, and Hunter Vines, who they are now playing. They are trying to lock him off, Will, what it looks like.
Yeah, and that's a tough thing to do, especially with the speed of Hunter Vines. But I talked to Coach Miles the other day at practice. I said, Coach, what do you think is the one thing teams might throw at you defensively to slow down this offense? He said that most teams will probably attempt to lock off Hunter or lock off Davis Lindsay, one or the other, maybe even both. I guess that's what Cannon's doing here, as Hunter is called for a ward, and Cannon now will clear the ball.
Yeah, good defense there by Elon Parker for the Cougars, forcing Hunter into a ward in an effort to get open. You know, things can get real frustrating, whether it's lacrosse or basketball, when a team is trying to keep one guy. You know, things are starting to get chippy here, and it looks like the refs are going to get involved as they will give award Christ School the possession. But, you know, one of the tough things when you see a team play on Tuesday and then just play them 3 days later is that everything that they were feeling from that early game comes up, and we're starting to see a lot of the guys here getting a little chippy, and quite a few you know, guys pushing each other out here. So hopefully the refs are able to take control here, as both teams are getting a little upset, and it's showing here. Hunter Vines cutting. He's got room. Shot scored. Great pass there by Jack Harrison. The roommate connection. And we'll have a replay here for you. Great cut there by Hunter Vines right through the middle. Nobody saw him, and he was able to put that one home. So great job from Jack Harrison, able to find him. Hunter Vines putting another goal home. I believe his fourth of the game, but only third goal scored on an intentional shot. As his first goal and Christ School's first goal of the game was a pass attempt that ricocheted off a helmet and went in. So Greenies now lead 8-1 with over 4 minutes to play here in the first half. So Greenies doing a great job from the face-off circle, about 80% as a team for the game. Now make that about 83.3% repeating. Jack Harrison with the shot attempt, and he puts it home, doing it all himself. Great job by Jack Harrison. Sorry, why am I saying Jack Harrison? Jack McLawhorn, excuse me. Let's watch this here as he's able to take that all himself and score. Great job by the Fogo, Jack McLawhorn, putting it in for Christ School. So Will, after the first couple minutes in which Christ School was unable to get on the board and Cannon had the lead, what do you feel like Christ School's done well here? So not sure what they're going to call here, it looks like.
Equipment timeout. McLawhorn lost his glove on that play, but he did win the face-off, so Christ School will get possession, as McLawhorn doing a great job so far this game. Just 10 of 12 on the evening.
So yeah, sorry, Will, before the equipment malfunction there, so to speak. We were talking about what Christ School had done well here, since they were trailing 1-0 to get us back on board. What do you feel like they've done well to get them this now 9-1 lead?
I think Coach Miles brought him in the huddle and just said, calm down, play your game. It's playoff time, but just take good shots. No more behind the back, no more 20-yard shots. Just take well-placed shots as Zach Grindy shoots, but a great save there by Nelson, his 7th of the game.
Yeah, I've been really impressed by Chris Nelson. He's been great for Cannon School so far. Great save there. Shot attempt was from about 15 yards out, but he was able to get low and get that save for the Cougars. So great job by Chris Nelson. And that's Thomas Leck, number 42. Patrick Carlson to Reed Fisk. That shot saved by Hekimovic. Good job by Hekimovic to read that shot attempt off the stick. Marcus Berger will bring it up himself. Fast break opportunity nearly thwarted by Cannon School. We're going to have great defense there by number, can't tell if that was Henry Kohler or Colin Gassick. Let me see if I can see who that was. Yeah, that was Henry Kohler. Great defense there, but Christ School will get it back. Jack Harrison to Davis Lindsay. Running onto the field is number 20, Will Dodenhoff.
But Hunter Vines is going to get called for illegal screen, leaned his body into it. The ref saw it right away, and so Cannon now will take over, and they will attempt to clear it as they have struggled a little bit so far. James Lilly about had it, but did a great job defensively slowing down Cannon's transition.
Good dodge there by number 25. That shot attempt is good. Drew Balsbow, that is his second goal of the game. The long stick midi scoring both goals for Cannon School. And a great lefty shot there by Drew. Let's check out the replay. Been very impressed with his ability to do it on both ends. And Christ School now leads 9-2, but great job there by Cannon School being able to put that one home. And it all started there with number 25, Patrick Carlson, getting a good dodge, drawing the defense, and able to give it up to Drew Balsbow for the second goal of the game from the Cougars. Face-off win there by Connor Hines. Able to get a touch with 4 different defenders from Christ School. That pass over to number 12, Will Zandhus. I feel like I'm not pronouncing that name wrong, but near goal there from Cannon School. Seemingly an open goal, unable to put it home, but great ball movement there from the Cougars. As we see Will McNichols getting it over to Marcus Berger. And he will get a touch before getting the ball over to Jack Harrison. And that shot attempt is way wide from Lindsay. And we're going to see a flag as Cannon School was offsides. And we're going to have a first man-up situation for either team. 30 seconds. So man up, first man-up opportunity for Christ School. See if they are able to take advantage
Just 1 minute and 19 seconds left now in the second quarter. Christ School only leads 9-2. As Davis Lindsay tried to take it but was stripped, and Hunter Vines doing a great job of picking up the ground ball. Christ School's man up, but they are not moving the ball as Hunter Vines gets shoved into the crease, but they're going to wave it off. Wow, what a call there.
Yeah, not quite sure if I agree with that call. Hunter Vines seemingly was pushed into the cage, into the crease, so that goal will not be counted. But Hunter Vines, he's got open goal, he's got time, he's got room. Hunter Vines does it again, and he will score with just 43 seconds left. Looks like they thought they were going to be able to clear it, but Hunter Vines beats the defender one-on-one, and he is able to put it home for his 5th goal of the game. Hunter Vines is tough for the Greenies.
So Christ School now leads 10-2, able to take advantage of the man-down situation for the Cougars. And they're going to look to maybe add one more here late in the second quarter. Just 40 seconds now, but McLaughlin doing a fantastic job from the face-off spot. As Christ School's going to hold it for one last possession. Just under 30 seconds now. Lindsay with the ball. Finds Jack Harrison, who shoots a behind-the-back pass. And Coach Miles for the Greenies heated about that. Not happy at all as Lindsay finds the ball. Somehow loses it. I don't know exactly what happened, but Cannon now going to try to clear it 4 seconds, and they just throw it downfield. And that's going to be the end of the first half. So at the end of the first half, Greenies lead 10-2. Christ School really stepping it up after going down 1-0 early, but Nelson and Boswell for Cannon doing a great job keeping them in this game. Compared to last game, Greenies were up 11-1 at the end of the first quarter. Now just only up 10-2. It's a completely different game. And we'll be back for some more second half action just here in a couple minutes.
The primary job at Christ School is to develop a young man and his future. Coming to a school like this, they get to be the captain of their own ship. They get to make choices that have benefits. Learning to do business with adults and being their own self-advocate, I don't know if there's anything more important than that.
Yeah, relationships are at the core of what we do. We don't want people to just be passengers throughout this entire experience. We want them to be drivers.
When my son came as a 9th grader, it was kind of normal. You met your teacher on the first day of class. But after you've been here a year, it's so wonderful because by the time you go into, let's say, 10th grade and you go to see your teachers for the first time, you've already probably either had them as a coach or had meals with them in the dining hall.
I think that the relationship with teachers especially, from my experience, is just really close. So it's small classes, really intimate with the teacher. Even during extra help or after school, you can schedule meetings or even just show up.
I came to Christ School this year, so it's just been really supportive. Everybody's been like really nice, and I've already met a lot of people. I can go someplace and all of the teachers know my name, which is just a great experience that you can't get in a lot of places.
Each boy comes here with a narrative, with experiences, with quirks, with a sense of humor. We like that. What we want to do is to develop that. So at graduation, I've got an 18-year-old boy crossing the stage that's fully engaged and fully functional and ready for the next step in his life.
The way the teachers teach, totally boy-centered, because they know through research that boys like a louder voice. They like a teacher that's moving around the room. The boys want to interact with the teacher.
I've gotten into things, digital photography, like that I wouldn't usually do at home or at another school.
The course load is difficult in a way, but you have people who can support you and help you through it.
The Christ School campus is located in a very unique area. We're 8 miles from downtown Asheville and all the amenities that they offer. But more importantly, we have these 500 pristine acres where a boy can be a boy. If he wants to run through the woods, if he wants to fish, if he wants to ride his mountain bike through the 5 miles of cut trails, this is just an awesome venue.
For boys, it's a dream world here in the mountains with so many outdoor adventure sports all around that they can get to quickly, but at the same time to have what downtown Asheville offers with all of the arts and the different activities. It's just a perfect location for this school.
There's a bond here, there's a brotherhood where they watch each other's backs, they support each other, whether it's on the stage in drama, whether it's on the football field, whether it's on a community service trip. There is a special camaraderie here that you can only really experience if you come and see it and meet our young men. It is one of the most impressive things and the thing that I'm probably most proud of here at Christ School.
We are back with the Greenies leading Cannon School in the first round of the NCIS playoffs. 10-2. Greenies struggled a bit at the beginning, but got things back underway as we see a great save by the goalie for the Cougars, Chris Nelson, who despite the 10 goals you see on the scoreboard, he has kept quite a few from going in, 9 to be exact. Great job there by Chris Nelson to get another save for the Cougars. Offensively, we see Reed Fisk with the ball over to Henry Kohler, and now that's Thomas Leck with the ball on the far side of the field. A very tall, imposing player for Cannon School, someone that Coach Miles said to look out for. He makes a great pass across the crease, unable to be held on to, and Greenies will take over on the turnover, nearly giving it away themselves, but Alex Byron able to get a touch and slow things down for Christ School. Once again, we see Davis Lindsay in the place that he is most comfortable, behind the cage, orchestrating the offense for Christ School. You know, Will, it seemed like earlier in the game, Christ School is doing a lot of things that are uncharacteristic of what makes them successful, and eventually they seem to, you know, tone it down and figure things out. What do you think?
You're right about that. I feel like not only was it the delay, but Christ School is most likely a little nervous because for some of these guys, it is their first playoff game. They weren't on the team last year, and so I guess I don't know. I don't really know, but Christ School they've done a great job offensively running their offense. Before in the first quarter, we saw a lot of a lot of isolation, I should say, as Christ School turns it over right there. But we did see just a lot of errors, a lot of turnovers, and they were being careless about it.
Yeah, another careless turnover there, that one by Vines, as the Greenies will give the ball back to Cannon School. Had a 4-on-3 transition opportunity, unable to take advantage as they give the ball back. Now we see number 28, Drew Ballsbow, who's been the goal scorer for Cannon School on the day. He's put both of them home. Long stick midi for the Cougars. Good move there by Ben Bragg, a senior defenseman. Good no-look pass there, but unable to put it home is number 12, Will Zandhuis. But good pass there by Thomas Leck, his second consecutive pass across the crease. But Bo Hekmovich able to get in front and make a great stop for Christ School to keep it 10-2.
Yeah, to be honest, I think that's where Bo shines best, is in those tight situations, one-on-one. He makes some phenomenal saves, and it's awesome to watch.
Great slide, good defense there by number 25, Sean Dow. Will take a shot attempt. Another save by Chris Nelson, who I just continue to be impressed by. We see Reed Fisk with the ball. Defense there by Hunter Vines and Max Bree. Number 1, shot saved by Hekmovich. Fisk had room, but Hekmovich able to close the door for Christ School. You see freshman Sean Dow with the ball, giving it up to Jack Harrison. You know, I would expect to see the Cougars go back to that tight zone that they played in the first quarter that kept Christ School off the board for quite a bit. And it looks like they will do that, as they saw most success when they were in that packed-in defense. Hunter Vines jumps up. He gets hit. And he's all right. It looked like he was calling for a timeout, but he just had the stick stuck under his arm there as he got pushed into the crease. Will, you mentioned just a few moments ago about potential early game jitters for some guys who, hadn't been in this situation before. And in this situation last year, we played Charlotte Christian in the first round of the playoffs and actually trailed 3-1. Coach called a timeout, really got into the team and said to them that, this is something that, the offense that Charlotte Christian brought out was something that they had talked about as a team all week, really calmed the guys down. And Christ School eventually went on to score 23 unanswered goals to win 24-3. So maybe just some early game jitters from Christ School, as that shot attempt is deflected by Nelson. Marcus Berger shoots it, deflects off Nelson, then off the crossbar, and Jack Harrison will restart possession with 6:38 remaining in the third quarter. Greenies' lead is 8.
Yeah, about 5.5 minutes already into the third quarter and still scoreless here in this game as Cannon finds the ball as Christ School yet again turns it over without a shot attempt.
Yeah, starting to see some frustration, some body language from the Christ School players. I feel like, some of the – and I don't want to blame it on conditions as we see a good save from Hekimovich. But, like we said, just some uncharacteristic plays for Christ School. But, if fortunately with an 8-goal lead, some of those mistakes that they're making aren't affecting them the way they would maybe in a closer game. So Christ School will need to clean these things up as they move on to the semifinals, potentially if they win. As we see a shot by Fisk saved by Hekimovich, another save. Now we're going to have a transition opportunity for Christ School as that's McNichols to Berger, picked up by Harrison. And that's Davis Lindsay with the ball.
So now Will Dodenhoff will get on the field as Hunter Vines takes a shot. Goes low, but just wide, and Christ School will keep the ball as Jack Harrison's there to back it up.
I've been very impressed with the Cannon School defenses. They have faced, they've been, these same guys have been on the field, not many substitutes for Cannon School. So to keep Christ School off the scoreboard, as they have pretty well so far in the third quarter, testament to their conditioning and their ability to play defense, as we are going to have a timeout. Cannon School with Christ School leading 10-2 with 5 minutes and 3 seconds remaining in the third quarter. So Christ School coaches really getting into the players there. Doesn't matter that they're up 8. Will, we were talking about with the sound turned off that Christ School really isn't playing as well as they are capable of playing this game, regardless of the fact that they're up 8 goals. What do you feel like is the reason for that, or what do you feel like they're not doing well here?
It's all about the mentality. Christ School, obviously they think they're better than Cannon. They beat them 18-3, but there's no reason during playoff time for them to get in this pattern of just being laid back and being relaxed about everything. They still need to play competitively and with aggression, not aggression, but just with energy. It seems like there's such a lack of energy on the field right now, in that the attitudes are all poor for a lot of the players, but
So we see Chris Nelson, the goalie for Cannon School, bringing it up himself, dodging. He'll shoot. Shot is bounced over the goal, but impressive athleticism from the goalie, Chris Nelson, there. And Cannon School may have only scored 2 goals at this point. They've had their opportunities, but I've been impressed. Not many guys on the sidelines for them able to come in, and they have played well today. They had some early turnovers in the first half, unable to clear the ball, but they've kept Christ School from scoring the goals that they're normally capable of scoring. So a testament to Coach Shatner and his program, and these guys are playing hard and will continue to play hard. I would not be surprised if they continue to play hard and play well for the remainder of this game.
Yeah, there's no question about that. A lot of credit to Cannon.
Yeah, in the playoffs last year, Christ School defeated Charlotte Christian in the first round, 24-2. The second game, they played Cannon School, and it was a 14-8 game, but that game was far closer than the score indicated. And Christ School, eventually went on to defeat Charlotte Country Day 18-2 in the championship game. But the way that Cannon School really kind of took it to Christ School early in the game there, this is a great program, well coached, some great players, and some players that have been there before. I'm looking at the roster sheet here, and there are at least 8 seniors for Cannon School. So, a lot of these guys, whenever you have a situation where it could be your last game, they're going to give it their all, and they really have so far here. So I've been impressed by this team, and maybe while Christ School isn't playing their best, a lot of that credit has to be given to the way that Cannon School is playing and playing difficult defense, forcing Christ School into some tough shots. So,
yeah, and right there, sorry to interrupt you, but right there, that's one of the shot selections Coach Miles, he's gotten a little upset about so far this game. Zach Grindy taking an 18-yard shot right there from the restraining box. Luckily, Hunter Vines was behind the goal to recover it for the Greenies, as it still remains scoreless.
That's Lindsay to Harrison, and they're going to call Harrison in the crease. But that shot attempt was saved by Nelson. But I have to say, has been the MVP for Cannon School thus far, and really great job by the entire defense. Drew Ballsbow scored 2 goals as a defender, and Chris Nelson, who kept Christ School scoreless here in this third quarter. So 2:11 remaining in the third quarter, 0-0 quarter for both teams. That's Henry Kohler with the ball, and they're going to call a penalty on Christ School. So once the ball hits the ground, we will have a man-down situation for Christ School. Nifty moves there by Patrick Carlson. Thought he'd put that one home. Good save by Hekimovich. And the Greenies will be man down once we find out what the penalty is. And he will be called for a slash.
So Davis Lindsay called for the slash there. Just a minute, 51 seconds now left in the third quarter in Cannon. Going to go on man up for the first time all game. So far, it's been a chippy game, but only 2 penalties, 1 on each side, which is interesting. But nonetheless, Cannon going to try to get the first goal of this third quarter right here. Greenies need to stop going in towards the end of the third quarter and really getting some momentum for the fourth.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of momentum, one of the things you want to see from Christ School, as they've been a little bit sloppy this game, is that they figure things out here in the last 13 or so minutes and really be confident going into their game on Tuesday if they're able to come out with a victory here. So hopefully Christ School can figure things out, stop Cannon School from scoring on this man-up situation, And we have a great defensive play there by number 19. That's Hagen Brooks. Now Max Bree and Marcus Berger getting in it.
Yeah, the Greenies got sucked up too far, but do a great job of getting back and slowing down Cannon. Just 10 seconds now on the man up. Bo Hekimovic with a phenomenal save right there, and Marcus Berger is going the other way for the Greenies.
Yeah, point-blank save there for Hekimovic. Will, what number save is that for him on the game? Because he's been great.
Yeah, that's his ninth save of the game. And, I mean, most of these saves have been within 5 feet or even on the crease. Just phenomenal saves, getting a piece of it. And he sees the ball fantastically, and that's why he's one of the best goalies in the state, along with Nelson.
Yeah, 2 great performances from both of these goalies, as that shot is saved by Chris Nelson, who says, anything you can do, Bo, I can do better. I've got 12 saves on the game, and he has been great for Cannon. I've just been continually impressed by what he's been able to do. Jack Harrison over to Marshall McDill. Another save by Nelson as Marshall McDill goes low. Nelson throws it up to end the quarter. 0-0 quarter. Great job by Cannon School, keeping Christ School off the board. Greenies lead by 8, but not the best quarter for the Greenies, as Cannon School did a great job in their zone. And when you are able to play defense with a guy like Chris Nelson behind you, obviously things are a bit easier. But Drew Balbo, we had number 19, Ben Bragg, that was on defense, as well as Reed Fisk. So testament to their defense and their effort here, as Coach Miles is getting all the guys together to talk to them here at the end of the third. Greenies lead by 8. We'll be back shortly. We're back. I was about to share that Christ School or Cannon School, the winner of this game, would face the winner of Ravenscroft and Charlotte Country Day here. However, Charlotte Country Day is able to come up with a victory 13-11 over Ravenscroft. But the crazy thing about that game, Will, is that Charlotte Country Day was down 11-7 in the fourth quarter, able to score 6 unanswered goals to win the right to play in the semifinals of the NCISAA playoffs. So great job by Charlotte Country Day to have that opportunity to move on. But if you're Ravenscroft, I'm sure they are kicking themselves. But, you know, sometimes, Will, when the momentum is swinging one way, it swings that way hard. And looks like Charlotte Country Day able to move on after a tough victory and great comeback against Ravenscroft.
As Nelson gets a piece of Hodges' shot, deflects that one wide, but Jack Harrison behind the cage to recover it for the Greenies.
So once again, we have Aylin Parker, who is doing his best. He's keeping Hunter Vines. They're locking him off. As Hunter Vines, I believe, still has, is it 5 goals or is it, 5 goals. So they're going to try and keep him from getting a touch with the ball, which is probably a good thing to do if you are the Cougars. So that's McDill with the ball on the near side. Phil Hodges to Coles Manning, nearly shoots it. That shot goes wide from Philip Hodges. And Hunter Vines will restart the possession. Hunter Vines gets it up to Jack Harrison, who will slow things down. Harrison to Grindy. To Philip Hodges. Back to Grindy. Shot attempt by Jock Harrison. I just said Jock Harrison. I made him French. Jack Harrison. Shot attempt saved by Chris Nelson. And that guy is tough. Fun to watch. That's Reed Fisk with it. He shoots. That shot saved by Bo Hekimovich. Ball behind the cage. Good defense there by Max Bree, the senior captain. And Will McNichols, who a couple games ago had been injured. Great to have him back. And he gets the ball, the field nearly turned over, but Jack Harrison able to run it down for Christ School. Another shot attempt saved by Nelson.
Yeah, and the Greenies continuously going low on Nelson. He's been phenomenal down low. But yet they're still going at him as the Cougars now. Hunter Vines with a great ride right there. Picks up the ground ball, is coming the other way.
Hunter Vines with the dodge. Makes a defender fall. Unfortunately, looks like he passed it to the goalie. Love to see this effort from Cannon School. That Drew Ballsbow, that kid has been doing some great things for Cannon School. Let's watch the replay here as he is able to once again take it himself. It looks like not sure what's going to happen.
Yeah, they're going to wave that goal off, offsides on the Cougars, so things are going to reset here.
Oh, man, that's tough. I'm telling you, that would have been the third goal for Drew, who's been so great for Cannon School today. Unfortunately, that goal is waived for him. You know, it's not often you see a long stick midi scoring goals, and he's just a big guy. You know, he's got some speed to him, big guy, and able to put those home as Zach Grindy. Man, turn of events there as one goal is waved off. And Zach Grindy, as we'll see here on the replay,
no look shot, almost over the shoulder.
Yeah.
Nelson couldn't do much about that. Close range, and I mean, that's a 2-goal swing right there in the Greenies' favor. Unfortunate for the Cougars, but luckily for the Greenies, that extends their lead by 9. Excuse me, up to 9. Now just 8.5 minutes.
That's Sean Dowd taking the face-off, getting it to Max Bree. To Marshall McDill, we also see Grindy, Hodges, Manning, and Harrison with Will Dodenhoff from New Orleans, Louisiana, checking into the game. A junior for the Greenies.
Yeah, Dodenhoff, he has a lot of potential for the Greenies. Next year especially, he'll be a senior leader for the team, and he's a great player. Was on the team last year, didn't get as much playing time as he has this year, but he's got a great build, athletic man, and great stick work as well.
That's him with the ball right now, getting it back to Coles Manning, and they're just going to work it around, make this defense work as that goes to McDill.
Yeah, McDill doing a great job filling in for the injured Davis Lindsay. Coach Miles just resting Davis right now just because his hip might be flaring up like the previous injury we saw earlier this season as Philip Hodges picks up the loose ball.
Yeah, good defense there by number 10, George Fisher. Was able to knock it away momentarily. We have a cutting Zach Grindy, but it looks like that will go out of bounds. So good defense there by Cannon School, forcing the turnover. Good slide there to knock it away from Grindy.
And Cannon throws it deep, unable to pick it up right away. And James Lilly doing a great job. A nice slap check right there to cause the turnover. And Christ School's going to go the other way as Coach Miles will be forced to use his first timeout with just a little over 6.5 minutes in the fourth quarter. Greenies up 11-2.
Yeah, great play there by James Lilly out of Houston, Texas, and he was able to get in there, knock the ball away from Ballsbow, and Max Bree able to finish it off by getting the ball back and getting a timeout from Coach Miles. So not much time remaining, just over a half of this fourth quarter. That's a lot of math there. 11-2, Greenies leading, and we will be back shortly after this brief moment. All right, we're back. 6:30 remaining in the game. Greenies leading by 9, 1 goal until running clock. But Cannon has kept the Greenies just to 1 goal here in the second half. So great job by Cannon School forcing the Greenies to take some tough shots, forcing them into some turnovers. And with the injury bug that's hit Cannon School this year, it's great to see them battling today as they have. And they're going to call a flag. So, looks like Jack Harrison's goal will count. He was pushed in the crease. They're going to call a penalty as well, but that flag has been waved off. So, great job by Harrison to take the contact and score. And it will be running clock as soon as the face-off happens. But I mentioned before that goal was scored that Cannon School has been hit by the injury bug this season. If you can see on the sideline, their all-time leading scorer went down earlier in the year with a broken back. He's got a huge back brace on. He was able to tough it out for quite a few games before being shut down for the season. Another attackman a couple games ago went down with a hand injury. I heard there may have been a concussion. So unfortunate for a team who finished in the state semifinal last season. But still, with Shatner on the sidelines, you know, they've battled through adversity this season, and they have certainly battled here today, forcing the Greenies into quite a few tough shots. We have Hunter Vines at full speed. He's going to shoot, but that shot saved by Chris Nelson, who is well over double-digit saves on the game. We're going to have a foul on the Greenies. Cougars will take over. Another good defensive play there by James Lilly. And we're going to have nearly a turnover. Well, yep, it will end up being a turnover. Good defense there, getting the ball. Henry Kohler called his name quite a few times today. And we have Jack DeBose in the game for the Greenies. They're going to slow things down, take some time off the clock. And Hunter Vines will check in here. So those of you who have stuck around to watch this, we appreciate your patience with the rain delay. And Greenies with 4 minutes and 17 seconds trying to hold on here. And they will play next Tuesday, and that will be against Charlotte Country Day with an impressive comeback win against Ravenscroft earlier today. That game just finished about 30 minutes ago. So Greenies will face Charlotte Country Day, who was their opponent in the state championship game. They did not play in the regular season, but they will face them on Tuesday. So a couple days until Greenies Charlotte Country Day rematch, and that will be a good game here on campus, and we'll be bringing you that game on the Christ School Broadcast Network. We're excited to have at least one more game with you guys, and Will, we're also happy that we don't have to say goodbye to our seniors just yet, as they will have another contest. And that's Hunter Vines with the dodge. He'll shoot. No good. Tough shot attempt there. And we're going to have a fast break opportunity. That is Patrick Carlson will give it up. But we've been calling James Lilly's name quite a few times today. Fortunately, that ball gets knocked out of bounds, but he stops a probable goal from senior Thomas Leck, the attackman from Cannon School. Good defense there by Marcus Berger and Will McNichols.
And now just over 2.5 minutes, Christ School's going to slow it down yet again.
So it wasn't the prettiest game for Christ School, but fortunately able to come out here and put some goals home after a tough start. We had one goal, our first goal ricochet off the head of one of our players, and sometimes you need a goal like that to get things started. And the Greenies were able to put up, I believe it was 8 unanswered goals, maybe 9. And so while wasn't the best game for Christ School, a little bit sloppy at times, able to come out with a victory here and prolong the season. I believe this game will move them to 15-3 on the year, with their losses coming to 3 of the top-ranked teams, 3 top 50 ranked teams in the nation. So Christ School had a great season so far, and they'll look for that season to continue, facing Charlotte Country Day probably around 5:30. But you can follow Greenie Sports or log on at christschool.org/athletics to find out when Christ School will play next. That shot attempt, good! Sean Dow. He had time, room, and bullseye. Great shot there by Sean Dow, just a freshman for Christ School, and we will be calling that name for years to come. So great job by Christ School, able to put that one home. Will, do you see who that assist went to?
Yeah, great pass from Dodenhoff to find Sean Dow at the top of the box, and a deep shot for Sean Dow, but he's got a cannon. He finds the top shelf of the goal. Christ School now up 11. Christ School really stepped it up in the second quarter, slowed it down in the third, and has been solid throughout the fourth. But nonetheless, they cannot be fully satisfied with their performance today. There's a lot to improve on and a lot to think about. As we see, Ross Oakley got on the field after coming back from a serious ankle injury over the past month. It's always good to see players come back on the field, even just for a brief moment.
That's Coles Manning. Gets a step. Oh, man, that shot will go off the helmet of number 19, Ben Bragg, from just a couple feet away. I hope that he is all right. Doesn't seem to be fazed by that one. So 30 seconds left, 13-2. Will DeBose with the ball will restart possession for Christ School. To Coles Manning. Andrew King to Dodenhoff, back to King, to Coles Manning, who finds Jack DeBose. He'll take a shot just above GLE. That one will go wide. Greenies will keep possession. And they're just going to run the clock out. Final score with 7 seconds left is 13-2 in the favor of the Greenies. But Will, I have to say, the Cougars played a great game. Just 3 days ago, they lost 18-3. But this was not the team we saw 3 days ago. And with just 5 substitutes, have to be really impressed with what the Cougars did here today.
Oh, you're right about that. A lot of credit is due to the Cougars and to their season. To be honest, I thought they played just as well as Christ School did today, even though the result was completely different than that. I thought they had a better attitude about the game and they brought more effort. But nonetheless, Christ School, they fought through it. They fought through maybe a poor performance, and they were able to get away with this victory, and they'll move on to the semifinals of this tournament and face Country Day Tuesday.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Christ School last year was able to come out with a state championship, their first in school history. And, you know, they did that by taking it one game at a time. And we continue to see that here today. You know, they really did a good job of, you know, fighting through some initial adversity there at the beginning of the game. But they came through with the victory off 8 unanswered goals. We had 5 goals from Hunter Vines. We had numerous saves from Bo Hekimovich. And while this wasn't the best game for Christ School, you know, at times you just got to take a victory where you can get it and when you can get it. So Christ School will face Charlotte Country Day on Tuesday, and we will have that information to you with the live stream link as well as what time that game will be here in a little bit. So great effort from Cannon School. You know, I think, you know, while some of these seniors, 8 of them to be exact, will call this their last game at the high school level, have to be pleased with how they played because they did truly play well. So Christ will come out with a victory, 13-2, and we will see you on Tuesday back here on the Christ School Broadcast Network. It's playoff time, and Christ School, once again, looking towards the semifinals with their eyes eventually, hopefully, on another state championship. So thank you guys for joining us, and we'll be back soon. I'm Bobby Long alongside Will Smoots, bringing you Christ School Lacrosse.